He was a boy born on 10th July 1569 at France and in a small village, and his mom Jean died when he was a kid, and his father really wanted him to have good education, so he went to University of Paris when he was only 14, and that was young, and learned Latin and Greek in that university. He was the author of Institute of the Christian Religion, and that book, oh, it's 3 books, and it's not easy to understand how to like when I read that book. He promotes destination, which means limited atonement, and predestination means God have already chose all the Christian, and the one who became Christian is God. God chose, and those who God did not chose will not be a Christian. And he believed justification by faith alone, and Reformed theology. Reformed theology was begin with John Calvin, his Calvinism, and today's Presbyterian Church and Congregational Church was lead from that theology, and most people think that church will be more piety Christian. And he died at the year 1564. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Rita. Oh, can I share the screen? Okay. All right. When I pick that, actually, I hope to talk about what he has done in Geneva when he tried to. Can you see the screen? Right. He tried to implement Christianity in the entire city, right? And how does the world has the impact? After this worldview class, my next English one, I'll do the church history. I love church history, and I don't know when I'm going to teach it, but I taught in Chinese, but I'm also going to enhance the course. So yeah, hope we can have a chance to study church history together. A lot of things in the past actually will help us to deal with the thing today. There's nothing new, right? Hey, so we are here, week 8. Today, from today's class, I'm going to merge more from the other book, Issue Facing Christians Today and Change Agent. All right. This way, I'm going to start to merge my I'm going to say Windows 1.0, Worldview 1.0 and Worldview 2.0, make it to Worldview 3.0. Okay. So when I taught 1.0, I only use mainly the Now How Should We Live. And 2.0, I put these 2 books. So this 3.0, I try to make it 12 courses and combine all these 3. Okay. So now we're going to move to second part. All right. So for those of you going to get certificate, all right, don't wait until the last minute. Okay. Attend at least 9 sections online. And if you miss, you know where to find is on my YouTube channel. And I'll also post a link at the Telegram. Finish reading the entire book. We're going to have final simple exam and 1-page reflections. And from today, actually, I'm going to add one more is to listen elbow motors, the briefing. I will talk about that at the end. Okay. Lesson 8. be a change agent. Okay, let's review that again. The 4 basic Christian worldview. What's the first one? Alex, what's the first one?
Creation.
Okay. Brendan? Number 2? What's that? Jen?
Fall.
Okay. Number 3? Adeline?
Redemption.
Okay, very good. How about the 4th one? Chloe? Or anyone else? Anyone?
Restoration.
Okay, restoration. All right, thank you. So today we're going to look at restoration. Okay, so we are saved now. Okay, we say become Christian now. Then what should we do? All right. How do we redeem a culture? Answer simple. How? How do we redeem the culture? Anybody? Where's the starting point? Parents can answer too. Where's everybody today? How do we redeem the culture? Actually, we Chinese, we probably know better.
I was thinking understand it first.
Okay, understand. I mean, probably I would say from family, from government, from where to start. Oh,
From family.
maybe from individual. Okay, from the individual to the family to the community, and even wider ripples. So easy from the individual. Okay, and we Chinese say 修身齐家治国平天下, right? So we got it. But if we are to restore our world, we must have to shake off the comfortable notion of that Christianity is merely a personal experience applied only to one's private life. We easily forget that every private decision contributes to the moral and cultural climate in which we live, ripping out in even wider circles, first in our personal and family lives, and then in a broader society. Here we come to the, I think most church will be not talking about this. We just say, oh, after you become a Christian, come to, you got to attend the regular Sunday worship, you got to go to cell group, you got to do the tithing, you got to share the gospel, do wins. Yeah, I told this, okay? So that's usually what we do. Now you become a Christian, right? So you need to attend the church service, you got to give tithe, and even better to serve. You better to serve in the praise team, choir, or whatever capacity, right? Yes, very important. Okay, don't say, oh, after I attend Pastor Leonard Christ, I'm not going to do this in the church. No. Please do that. Okay, that is very important. But I just want to add some more that we shouldn't just think that is all what we Christians do, and that's our personal life, all right, our church life. Okay, we need to go beyond that. That's because every decision we make reflects our worldview. Every choice, every action either express a false worldview and thus contribute to a disorder and broken world, or express God's truth and helps to build a world that reflects his character order. So we need to start thinking, oh, every decision we make, is there any difference before and after we are saved? Not just plus we go to church, do all the things. Okay, I'm sure we're going to change a lot of things. Hopefully you become better temper, you know how to appreciate things better, you have more thankful heart, you have better relationship with your parents. Okay, hopefully that will be the result, right? But we must begin by understanding that what it means to live by Christian, right? Live by Christian worldview principle in our own behavior and choices. Unless we do, we will interpret the biblical commands according to the spirit of the age, and will therefore be conformed to the world rather than God's word. That is something that we learned up to lesson 7. Hope that will stick in your mind. When any decision you want to do, you say, oh, who said so? From what theory? And what does Bible say? Remember those 3 things, right? Because if we don't follow God's principle, then we follow the principle of the world, right? And this thing we need to come to think about this now. The cultural mandate. Jane, can you read the verse?
And God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the heavens and over every living thing that moves on earth. Genesis 1:28.
Okay, we in the church, we often just emphasize Great Commission, right? Matthew 1:28. Matthew 28. Matthew 28. All right, this is Genesis 1:28. Right? Maybe we should have the cultural mandate week. We all have a mission week, right? We should have this too, because this is God make it to the world that sorry, the phone. When God created heaven and earth, that he commanded everybody to follow this. So this is very important. Don't forget that if we don't manage the world for God, other people are going to manage, right? Here I'll talk about dominion. Think about these words. Usually we don't like this word. Dominion actually means rule. So you can say Adam and Eve, they're governor. God and Eve said, okay, you're going to take care of that. You're going to take dominion. You're going to take control. It's not just on the side. So God commanded us. Actually, God bless us. God bless us. So cultural mandate is God's blessing. It's not God's, it's a command, but also it's a blessing for us, can be part of his creation, right? So look at this. God created the world, right? But sin come into the world. Why? Because now the Satan ruled the world. So God's son Jesus to defeat the Satan, and that Christian also need to take back the created world. That's something we also need to remember. Actually, by sharing the gospel, that the world will become better place to glorify God. If you think about every person sinner is a black dot, then when we turn this person to become Christian, then we show God's glory, right? So that will reflect on the world we live in, all right? So when God makes us a new creation, we are meant to help create a new world around us. Salvation does not consist simply of freedom from sin. Salvation also means being restored to the task we were given in the beginning, the job of creating culture. Look at the Genesis. Actually, you see after Genesis 1, 2, and 4, you see the people study. Do you see that who is the ancestor of the fruit? Who's the ancestor of the making all these tools, right? So people are creating culture. I like this quote here. Christians are saved not only from something, I mean sin, but also to something, Christ's lordship over all of life. Unfortunately, oftentimes we just think, oh, I got a ticket to heaven now. Wow, safe. Now I can move on with whatever thing I want to do. That is something we lack. We need to now. Our life has different purpose now. So there are two parts of the world. One is nature. Okay. Actually, usually we say the world actually could mean a couple of things. One is nature, right? That's God's law for nature. We have laws of gravity, motion. God ruled directly. Man has no choice. You can say, yeah, you do have choice, but if you want to jump from a cliff, you know the result, right? So oftentimes we will follow that. Oh, you got to watch out. This is the gravity, so you don't want to jump from the on the cliff. But God also create a moral law, God's law for managing a world, the family, the education, work, and government. God ruled that indirectly. Man has a choice. So that's something the culture we need to manage it for God. All right. And we don't want to just say, oh, they're the sinful world. This sinful world, they're the sinful people manage that. We just stay in the church. No, because they're also going to affect us. All right. John 1:1-3. Brandon, can you read this? Are you able to read? Turn the mic on.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word. Yeah. 怎么？
Okay, you some okay. Who else is here? Is Alex? Alexi, can you read?
Me?
Alexi?
He? What's that?
Alexi. Is Alexi here?
I'll just read John 1-3.
Yeah.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made.
Okay.
Jesus,
Okay, stop there. Okay, see, all things were made through him. Jesus himself is the source of the comprehensive plan or design of creation. As a result, obedience to Christ means living in accord with that plan in all aspects of life. Remember when we say the Great Commission also said, whatever I teach, you need to teach them to observe. That's something we forget. That's Jesus in the Great Commission to teach all things I taught and to have them to observe. You see, it's not just observe the thing in the church, right? But all things. All right. So before that, we jump into how we're going to redeem the culture. We also see, look at this. If we Christians don't get in, and that's the dominant cultural voice. Individuals have a right to live in any way they choose. Society has the responsibility to pick up the tab for any negative consequence that result. Is that true? Think about this. Okay, this is our dominant culture voice. Anybody read this? Chuck's use is very interesting. It's from this outlet. He said, "Get ready, okay." And they go to the top. They say, "Danger, right? Don't go," but they still go up. All right. They forget, they neglect the sign, the danger. All right. And let's go in, and then, whoo, wow, that ran down to the cliff. Oh. And then what they say? Quick, free unlimited health care. That's what we're seeing now. Our culture is that you can do whatever you want, but if there's consequence, government needs to help us to pay for everything. Isn't so? This is called value-free lifestyle. All choices are moral equal. No one should suffer for the choices he or she makes. Maybe in the discussion time, you can find you see some cases like this. Okay. So the secular view is the role of public authority is to mobilize resources to make sure that no negative consequences follow from the choices any individual may make. So there's no, everybody can do their decision, whatever that's in the fit. Okay, there's no such thing as right or wrong. But if there's a consequence follow, then the government or public resource will go in to fix for us. All right. And sounds good, right? Sounds good because you have compassion, you want to help people, all right? But the thing is, we allow people to do whatever they want. Nobody going to say, hey, don't do that. Just give you 3 examples from the textbook, especially on the sexual behavior, all right? So we heard about the safe sex, even in high school, they give you the condom, or they assume you're going to have sex, and just say, okay, just don't get pregnant, right? So you can do whatever you want, just don't have a baby. And you in what happened if accidentally you got a baby, what you do? Abort it. Isn't that just something that we try to, that everybody can do what they want, right? So that is just one example here. Maybe you can find some other things. But if you say, oh, don't have a sex until marriage, it's, what are you talking about? That's, how can you say that, right? Because you cannot confine people. You just didn't do what they want. And that started from these sociologists. Again, you see that all these experts, and they really, if they don't use biblical worldview, they're going to use different worldview, and they're going to contract it to God. And also, actually, they're not helping the society. So he said, Christopher Janek said, if people truly prefer a family consisting of a mother, children, and a series of transient male, then it is hardly the federal government's proper business to try to alter this choice. What is the government's business then? It ought to invent ways of providing such single-parent family with the same physical and psychological necessity of life available to other kind of families. You see that? Again, we are not saying that we don't want to help single families, okay? Actually, being the pastor, most of my job is helping the single family with the kids. But the thing is that we start to say, oh, this is normal. And so we are not going to encourage, the society is not going to encourage the family has mother and father. You see that? That's what coming. So we're going to use government, whatever way, to make it, it's okay for that. And that's, so this way you're going to create more and more problems. So this is just one example. And actually, nowadays, if you have a mom and a dad at home, it's considered not a good thing because it discriminates people. Because your kid has more advantage than other people. How can it be? You know, so that, you see, the society can only promote something. If you don't promote that, other things going to come in. All right. So again, we see from the past lessons, I hope you see that. Yes, we all see a problem, but how are you going to fix it? What the Bible says? The role of the public authority is to encourage people to live according to the principle they make for social health and harmony. God has designed something, how the family should work, how the society should function. And the book, actually, this book that says, if you do follow what Bible's religion and morality, you're going to have benefit, okay? You're going to, all right, but still, we're talking about mainly, we need to be saved first. And the Christian, when we say we can demonstrate how God's principle to live, and also we benefit first. Okay, so that's first part. That's a Chuck Colson talk about. We need to go beyond just save. We need to have. We have this function. Also need to have this cultural mandate to redeem the culture. Okay. And then second part, I'm gonna pick up from this book, Change Agent. I feel like not just redeem, we want to change, we're going to influence. And I feel like if you see this perspective, much more excited being a Christian, right? Not just that passively we couldn't do anything. We see the society declining and then say, oh, we just share the gospel. Yes, we still want to share the gospel and even more effort to share the gospel. But we won't stop there because Oz Hillman, this is no Chinese version, this is only English, okay? He said, deep in the heart of every human being is a desire to make a difference in their world. They want to be change agents. Simply state, a change agent is a person chosen to bring about change, okay? But it's change for better, for more biblical way, not just for the sake of change. And the idea is also coming from this called 7 mountain strategies. Does anybody heard about these 7 mountains? It's about in 1975, Bill Bright, Campbell Crusade, and Lauren Canahan, YWAM founders, they both received this from God. They said, if you want to influence the culture, this is the 7 area that we need to focus on. All right. In the second part, actually, I added myself, okay? When I taught that, I said, hey, how can I find a phrase to say what's the function of the family? So I copy something, but this is my own copyright, okay? Family, where we start. Church, where we are equipped. Education, where we are shaped. Government, where we govern. You know, at the beginning, I said, government, where we were governed. I said, no. It's a so different idea, right? I thought we Chinese, we often say, oh, we are governed. But you see, it's, no, we are people. We govern, right? And the business where we work. Media, where we handle the truth. First, I put it where we communicate. But I think, hey, this could be a change, okay? If you have better thought, let me know. I said, media is where we change, where we handle the truth. Media and education, arts and entertainment, where we celebrate. What do you think? Later on, from next week, we're going to touch on all these areas because there's so many areas. Someday we're going to just take on 2, okay? Hopefully we can cover all these 7 mountains. And share with me if you think, hey, we can have different thought. I would like to get it, can make it this better. All right. Okay, so if we are to impact any nation for Jesus Christ, then we will have to affect the 7 spheres that mountain society. They are the pillar of any society. These are where the battlefield is. It's here where culture will be won or lost. So you see, we cannot just hide it in the church. Actually, we live in this society. We choose what type of education. We're going to vote. It's what the government is. You're going to work. You're going to listen to what the music. We have to, right? We no way to run around from that. But unfortunately, very often we in the church, we seldom talk about this thing. And very instantly, he said, how does culture defined? It doesn't matter in a country has many Christians, not determined by number, but depend who is on the top. Only the 3 to 5% on the top who would decide the culture. Think about that. Why New York City is so significant? Why? Not just because I live in New York. Why New York City is so significant? And culture-wise, anybody? What do you think when you think about New York City? What comes to your mind? Alex, Lee.
I don't know. Food.
Food. Oh, New York City is good for food. Okay. What else? What else? How does New York City impact our culture? Anybody? Priscilla? Actually, girls should know. Girl. Jen, do you know? How does New York City impact the culture? How about fashion? Right? Fashion week is very big in New York City in every September. I know that because when I travel into the city, there's always jam. September is the worst time for New York because UN meeting also in September, fashion week also in September. Wow. All right, that's one thing. So you see that fashion is very famous in New York. What else? You should know. What's famous in New York? Wall Street, right? So finance. You see, all this are going to impact the whole world. They're on the mountaintop. How about LA? What's the LA control? Los Angeles. Hollywood, right? Entertainment. And you also, you see, these are the top, and they're going to decide, influence the culture. And do you know that I think during the 1960s or something, the Hollywood, when you make a movie, they will let the pastor or church to look at it first, say, hey, is this okay? This is good. Isn't it? Can you imagine that? Before that, they'll have pastor go to look at it. Hey, this is okay. Because if pastor good, then they're going to sell good. So well, because that's most people have this worldview understanding. But now, guess what? They are not going to care about your pastor's opinion. That's totally, they don't care, even opposite, right? So you see, the culture changed a lot. So how can we become a change agent? All right, I'm going to just bring a few things for us to think together. First, be a change person. Be a change person. Personal crisis is often the front door to our larger story in life. Right? And I was out here, my testimony about my eyes, right? And but mainly is so if we are saved, we become new creatures, then we have to be the first. Chuck Colson has his own book called Born Again, talk about his experience helping a lot of people. Actually, if you are interested, pick up the read. It sold a lot of copies because he was very famous for his time. And then people said, wow, this guy can have such big change, right? So transform people, transform cultures. So this is first, if we are not saved, we are not a new creation, how can we change, right? So therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he's a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. We all know this verse. Second, you need to be a problem solver. Each of us was created to solve a problem All right, we see the problem solver is not the problem maker. All right. We gain influence by being better and by providing solution to the culture's leader and their problems. Can you give me some example from the Bible? Who provide the answer? You should know from the Bible that provide the solution to solve the problem for the nation, for the society. Anybody?
There are a few answers in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Jerry says God. Xia Jing says Joseph. Melinda says Solomon.
Oh, okay. Joseph. And okay, can someone, so how did Joseph solve the problem? Who says Joseph? Can you say that? Yeah, Jing Xia, Xia Jing. Can you? How
Yes,
did,
hi.
yeah.
Joseph, God give dream to the Pharaoh, and Joseph interpret saying that they're coming famine, and he resolved the problem by, Pharaoh promote him to be the second in the country, so he built barns and gathered harvest for 7 years in order to prepare the coming famine.
Yeah. Very good, very good. You see that? If he doesn't provide it, he doesn't know how to solve it. He just say, oh, they're going to have a famine coming. Oh, they're going to have a harvest and famine. And what are you going to do, right? He didn't stop there. He provided a solution for pharaohs. And that's why he can become a prime minister and he can have this influence. Great. That's the example I'm looking for. How about Solomon? What did Solomon do to solve the problem? Melinda. What did Solomon do? Are you want to put in the chat? He has great wisdom, right? He solved a lot of problems. Yes. As for wisdom, okay. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Little more. Who else? How about Daniel? Right? Daniel, that's why he and his friend could be a prime minister also, right? Because they can solve the problem. The Babylon can they can know the dreams, right? So you see that we need to, so that's who I pick. So especially young people, I really encourage you, right? You need to study harder, right? I always tell the young people, you come to church, you come to youth group, I'm going to pray for you even harder that you can have a greater influence in the society, because you have a wisdom from the Lord, and you can be a problem solver. We Christian, God wants us to be on the top, not on the bottom, all right? But to use the way to glorify God. So if you want to study any subjects, pray to God, right? That you could be the problem solver. Like now, vaccine, right? Wow, people is running for you can, or how can you cure that COVID? I pray this will be Christian because they have a wisdom, inspiration in God, and work very hard to provide a solution. All right, we are not just say, oh, that's God's judgment. All right, we need to also see how can we provide a solution, right, from the wisdom opportunity God given to us, right? I'm sure parents also, you will need to work. If you know how to solve a problem, your boss will keep on coming to ask you, and you can have a better influence, right? So God wants us to be in that position. Third, we need to be a channel of love, right? Caleb, can you read this verse? Caleb Zen.
Sure. Matthew 22:37. And he said to him, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depend all the law and the prophets.
Okay, you see the sequence? The first is to love the Lord, and second is to love our neighbor. Too often, too easy, we love our neighbor, and then we neglect the law, right? We neglect God. But you say, oh, we love God so much, then we also need to love a neighbor like ourselves. So also humans say dominion, or perhaps a better word is to use is influence. It is a result of our love and obedience to God, not a goal to be achieved. It is the fruit of our obedience. Otherwise, we begin to use force, to force people to use our way. Okay, we don't want that. We want to use love to say, hey, this is a better way. And in a way, actually, I really try to why I wanted to teach this class, why I want to develop my time to save the next generation, because I hope my motivation is because of love, not just because I don't like certain things, because I see that the people, if you don't follow God, you deceived by the world. They try to sell you all this counterfeit love, right? We talked about it before. All this all this idea that Satan tries to say, hey, this will set you free, but actually you're going to be entrapped even more. So hopefully when we become a change agent, it's because of love, right? When we operate from love and service, we will be attractive to the world. They will desire to follow. We become solution provider to the issue of mankind. Jesus saw people's problems, which result in greater influence in people's life. Influence without humility and relationship means that we operate from our individual personal agenda, which is what the evangelical church has done in many instances. Whoa, you see that? So I hope after you're taking this class, you should have more energy and motivation to study harder, right? Because God wants to use us a channel of His love and His problem solver. You know, the people in the world, they work very hard to solve the problem. I really admire that. They're passionate. You know, they see the racial issue, they see the poverty. We should also see a problem. But if we have a gospel, we should, and the Bible, we have a better solution, right? Last, to be a team player. Real change happens when networks band together for change. Changing culture rarely happens without the cooperation among other like-minded change agents, pooling their resource and influence capital to make change. Well, that's why we can do this here by Zoom, right? We're connecting with people from all over the world. And I feel this is really God's time to want to start a new change, new movement. And by you taking this class, we have like-minded people bind together, right? So that's why the benefit, you come in, you have breakout room, you get to know people, you connect people. Well, you can just watch online, but you don't have these relations to people, right? So that's be a team player. The key actor in history is not individual genius, but rather the network, the new institution. They are created out of those networks. This is where culture change is produced. World changing is most intense when the networks of elites and the institution they lead overlap to change the world. So I'm really excited and thankful that, yeah, every time I open this class, I get to know more people, and I get to connect with more people. Now I travel more often, and you see that this networking is going to have greater and bigger change quicker. All right. why people need to go to the convention, why people want to go to those settings, because networking, right? And for we Christian, we networking with different, more even deeper. Can Chloe, can you read this verse? Or any BC, can you read? Is any BC there? Any from BC? Any? Hello? Zachary, can you read? Are you there, Zachary?
Yes. John 17:20.
Hmm.
I do not ask for these only, but also for those who will believe in me through their word, that they may all be one, just as you, Father, are in me, and I in you, that they also may be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me.
Okay, thank you. So through that one, actually, God wants to make us one. God wants to make us one. So the world can demonstrate that the world may believe that you have sent me. So I pray that really this time God bring his people together for his calling. Right? And I like to use this example. We talk about William Wilberforce, right? Wow, we think about just he as one person to implement this law to get rid of slave trade, get rid of a slave, but actually there's a group of people behind. Let's see, Eileen, can you read this?
This group of Clement friends gradually became knit together in an astonishing intimacy and solitary. They planned and labored like a committee that never was dissolved. At the Clam mansions, they congregated by common impulse in what they choose to call their cabinet councils, where they discussed the wrongs and injustice which would reproach to their country and the battles which would need to be fought to establish righteousness. And thereafter, in Parliament and out, they moved as one body, delegating to each man the work he could do best, that the common principle might be maintained, and their common purposes be realized.
Okay, this is a very interesting story. This group of people, Christians, they band together and even they choose to live together closer, so they can form this community and it's keep on work on the same issue. They not only implement a law to abolish the slave trade, many other laws, because they have this bondage and they all serve in the Congress. So you see, they can do a lot of changes. And I pray that new generation, the young people come out like this. I often see that our high schooler can do the club in the school, right? Or for the environmental work, for all different things. But why why sometimes I see why our Christian youth group, why so passive? We come into youth group, we just kind of very laid back, we just want to have fun, play a game. We lack that type of energy. We want to form something for the gospel's sake. We want to do something, you know. So I really encourage you to take active role in and with a group of people. When I was in high school, in church youth group, we don't wait for the counselor to say, hey, you got to do this, do that. We don't. We implement. We want to share the gospel. We want to run the meeting, and the counselor and the elder just there to give us resource. And yeah, so I pray that we'll be active with like-minded people to do something for God. Right. And so someone say that comment that instant, they said, it was indeed a unique phenomenon. This brotherhood of Christian politicians, there has never been anything like it since in British public life. So not just one person, a group of people, we see this. And yeah, so I use this to encourage you. You know that one thing I like church history is that Wesley, when he was in Cambridge, all right, secular college, he formed a club. Do you know what's the name of the club? Anybody want to guess? It's not a club to play ball, play bridge. He formed a club called Holy Club. Oh, do you want to form a high school club? You see, we high school club it's called Seeker, right? And Wesley said, is that called Holy Club? Something, Brian, is that right? I forgot. Yeah. Anyways, it's the name of Holy. So you see, so he can attract a group of young people this for the sake of holiness. They want to be different, right? So change agents like Levites who carry the ark bear the weight of their assignment as a team, staying connected because they know the dangers are going along. The ark needs to have 4 people, cannot just 1, right? And so the same thing, we got to do this together. And with the same goal, you cannot say, I want to walk west, you're going to walk north, right? So the teamwork is very important. And look at this verse. 5 of you should chase 100, and 100 of you should chase 10,000, and your enemy shall fall before you by the sword. So you see, if you have 20 times, 100 get together, you got 100 times. Oh, it's just illustration. You can see that when a bigger group of people group together, you're going to have greater impact. Last one. Why Canadian geese need to fly in this formation? Why? What's the benefit? What's benefit? Ina Young, do you know why it's a benefit of this?
Can you repeat the question again?
Why the Canadian geese will fly in formation like this?
To protect their flock.
Oh, okay, yes, but there's other reason. Anybody?
Or to act as a signal for those in the back.
Okay, yeah, to follow the leader, but more than that. Anybody?
Melinda Wu has her hand raised.
Okay, go ahead.
So that when other birds come by, they'll see them as like a bigger bird or something.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, but not the result. I'm gonna not answer. Try.
I think there are some answers in the chat.
Okay, what's that? Can you read that? I couldn't see.
Some people say windbreaker, wind resistance.
Okay, that's similar. That's good. That means they save energy. Okay, yeah. By flying this formation, they save energy, so they can fly longer and quicker. Okay. And do you know how much energy they save by flying this way? Any guess? Oh, he got it right. Jeez, it is 70%. Yes. So think about that. If a group of people that form together as formation, the result will be much greater. So I pray, and actually God using the internet at this time, that we can form this formation much easier. And so, all right, there's two questions. In what area of society have you seen the influence of the very free style? What would compel you to become a change agent? In which area? Okay. So I will just list out the 7 areas, but see, it's any particular area God has